How this simple question changed everything. I flew to the US a few years ago now. I was going to a conference in Atlanta that was mainly attended by Americans. There are a few English people there, and it's funny how you're naturally attracted to and get rapport with people like you from the same country. Something that's always interested me. I met a guy from Bedford who was a chiropractor, and I liked his mindset and the way he was doing business. We got chatting and we arranged to have lunch with each other the next day. We were waiting in the queue for the restaurant to be seated. He knew me well enough to chat to me about my business, and that day he asked me a question that I wasn't expecting. The question was totally left field and hit me right between the eyes. He asked me, what was my why? Why do I do what I do? Back then I had to think really hard and my brain didn't come up with anything. I gave him all the formal reasons. Fundamentally, I just didn't know the answer to the question, and he knew it. The last thing he said to me on the matter was simply this: until you know your why, you will always struggle. Why is why so important? There's always this talk of being motivated and enthusiastic, but you know what? It's always going to be an uphill struggle. Finding time and motivation is ironically the most energy-consuming task of all, if you ask me. When you know your why, you don't need motivation. You find a way, you jump out of bed, you make the time. Knowing your why makes you resourceful and leverages everything in your environment to make it happen. Your why will get you your 10,000 hours. Perhaps you've heard of the 10,000 hour rule. Basically, it's pretty simple. If you want to excel at anything, you need to put 10,000 hours in. The Beatles did. Bill Gates did. Pretty much all the people in the world who succeed at what they do put their 10,000 hours in to get to where they are. It's never down to luck. And when you think about it, putting 10,000 hours into anything cannot be done on motivation itself or discipline or enthusiasm. To put 10,000 hours in, you need that big why. Have you got your big why? If you agree with me that you need that big why for any business or fulfillment strategy, to have the commitment and ability to put that kind of hours in your need, put those kind of hours in, you need reasons and you require a core reason. Ask yourself whether what you do has a big why. And if you don't, as Steve Jobs says, keep looking. An uncomfortable flight home. As you can imagine, on my flight back to the UK back then, that question really disturbed me. I knew I was running a business that I couldn't succeed in because I had no why. No passion, no reason to get up every morning other than to earn a living, and ultimately I knew it wasn't going to be enough. What did I do? Well, I let it simmer and it ate away at me for months, if I'm honest. Eventually I closed down the business. I couldn't find the motivation, the clarity, or the momentum to make it happen, and I kept looking. That paid off for me. I found what I was looking for, my passion to help people get results and move them towards a life and business that they want, using all my experience in performance, communication and influence. And you know what? I never feel like I have to get motivated. I just have to focus on my why, thanks to my chiropractor friend and Steve Jobs. I hope you find yours. Are you sitting uncomfortably in your comfort zone? Get clarity, confidence and take the right action. Sign up for my free webinar at www.rebalanceliving.com. This is Laura Chattington. Thanks for your time.